finance and audit.
I know we have to.
We're unmuting.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Hot mic, everyone, we're live. Okay, so just so everyone's aware, there is a committee meeting tonight, and then we're gonna have the annual meeting, just for timing's sake. Two major things that will happen are committee assignments and resolution for the audit. The audit will go through the finance committee first, recommendation made to the board, that'll be a voting session. So whenever the vice chairman's ready, we can start the finance committee.
Right, or meeting to order for. Finance committee.
That's
Public comment?
you and Brian.
Yeah.
Just so we know, yeah. We do have members of the public here if they want to comment on anything.
All right, so the public comment. Voting session, resolution 1.25, approving the independent audit. With that. Motion. Okay, Make a motion,
Make a motion.
Brian, second.
I would have to.
Just the two of you.
It's just the two of you.
Me?
Yeah.
I can't do it now, can I?
Oh, can you?
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
we didn't, yeah, we didn't do you didn't do the audit.
Let's
So
do this.
Yeah, you didn't do, yeah.
I
You
think
didn't-
you're good. You don't have to abstain. You're good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Sure.
Committee discussion. So we have some people up for,
That's gonna happen during the
Okay.
annual meeting.
Okay.
So if there's no committee discussion, you'll motion to close, then we'll open
motion
the
to close.
Motion to close.
Okay, 4:02.5,
Record time.
pretty good. Okay, we can move on to the annual meeting agenda.
So, call the meeting to order, and then we, and the, public comment period. Good, all right. Make the motion for the approval of minutes, November meeting,
Motion.
Second.
by Brian. All in favor?
Aye.
And approval for the minutes of the February 2025 meeting. Motion? Brian? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, so committee assignments. James, I go through that, right?
Yep.
So obviously there's a new slate coming up for the various committees, which is governance, finance, audit, and loan review. Governance is Chair Alan Austin, Bradley Cummings, and Andrea Manicow. Individually, each of them, or all together?
Yeah, I don't, we'll approve the latest one.
Finance is Mark Maraglio, Daryl Legg, and Brian Kozlowski. Audit, Brad Cummings, Daryl Legg, Brian Kozlowski. Loan review, Mark, Alan, Amanda.
Yeah, we need a motion for that.
Motion? Brian, second? Second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Passed. All right, so voting session, resolution 1.25. Approving of independent board.
We sent that, I sent that prior, so if there's any questions on it, it's a very simple audit, simple transactions, there were no findings. Evelyn, everything was good with that, right? So, and just for a tidbit is, I think since inception, we've used the same group, EFPR. We had our original contract was solidified for 3 years, then 2 optional years, so this would expire their final optional year that we took to them. So by the end of this year, we'll have a finance committee meeting to approve the budget, and also we're gonna have to do an RFP for the auditor.
You're gonna have to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'll go back into procurement policies for corporation, but we'll end up doing another RFP where again, we'll go through the same process of the finance committee recommending the auditor and then going to the board for a full discussion. So just have that down the line.
So we're making
Yeah, you need a motion
a
to approve.
motion to approve the resolution 1.25.
Make a motion.
Second, fine. All approved, David?
Aye.
All right, executive director's report.
That was the majority of my report. We've just been doing a lot of background stuff. As you know, there's been a transition in the office. Warren is actually retired, so he's got 17 days left. Whatever, to the end of the month, essentially. So a lot of work has been trying to just handle the transition, a lot of planning projects. And keeping the corporation up to speed when it comes to deadlines. So a lot of it was moving this meeting up, making sure we're getting things together by our ABO deadline, which is the end of this month to submit the audit. And then we're in compliance, which is really good for us because I think we're typically turning this in late, which is great.
Has everybody done their training?
Evelyn?
I have to look, I think Mark, Mark may have completed it. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Put you in the
I
hot
think I
seat.
got one for you, but I have to go through my emails, because I sent it out probably 3 or 4 times in the last.
Just sit there with the computer on.
It's like taking the 5 hour. Just...
But I do believe that almost everyone has heard.
Oh, well, that's fine.
So between that, there are a few like housekeeping items. In fact, I think that we were even supposed to elect chair and vice chair today, but that can happen next month. But between that, ensuring conflict of interest forms are up to date. I know I gave you one last time.
Budget, all that stuff.
And governance. Yeah, budget's all good. We're good for this year because
That's the
That's
October.
we approved that in October, so we're good. And then we'll end up looking at the budget for next year later on this year. But at this point, the annual meeting is really housekeeping, making sure the slate of committees is good, the executives are good. So we'll wait for Mark to come back to formally vote on the executives. But other than that, everything's set. So my director's report, as far as the corporation goes, is light. We did do a public hearing for potential micro enterprise assistance program in front of the county ledge. It was approved last month, so it'll be done this month. That's one of the requirements for a new micro enterprise application, which we're hopefully going to be turning in the spring, just to give the legislature sort of a clue in on that. It'll have to go through approval for you guys because we'll be the sub-recipient, but I'm really trying to get that off the ground sooner rather than later, we're able to pipeline up people. So that's the majority of what we're waiting on. Both EPA programs that we're either a primary applicant on or that we are a sub-applicant on, that we have no word whatsoever. I don't know what those are gonna look like, so. Kind of keeping our heads down as until we're told otherwise for that. And it's been extremely quiet for loans, so I'm trying to work within state agencies to figure out how else we can use our loan funds, because we have how much in the bank for federal? Over 3 million right now
County?
for the county's federal funds that we give to loan out. We have 3 million, and like within 2 years, the majority of our loans, except for one, will be off the street. So it'll be back in a, well, Subversive is gonna mature this year, I
Oh.
think.
We're talking about county
Corp.
or for the-
Yeah.
Well,
So-
no, the one. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have a lot less money out in the street. We have a pool of CDBG money that we have set aside in order to do loans with.
Do we have like a spreadsheet on that, so we know what's available? So if we want.
I can create something and we can kind of go over fund balances each meeting and we can figure out where this goes. The thing is about the source of this fund, these funds are supposed to help low and moderate income individuals, or you can help census tracts. But we recently had a project come before us that I was directed to figure out whether or not we could loan or grant money out with our CDBG fund, since loans have been very slow. And in doing so, speaking with the state agency, their guidance was like, listen, it's federally sourced money, so it has to go back to what HUD looks for. And HUD guidance is very much like head in the sand, just, don't break the rules, are there. It's almost non-existent. So our best bet to use that money is use it in a way that we know is going to satisfy the national objectives from the state's perspective, which is creating job opportunities for low and moderate income individuals, infrastructure in highly impoverished areas. He said if you're using that funding to help expand an infrastructure line for a housing project that was going to be benefiting low to moderate income individuals, that would be a home run, for example. And it's not giving small business loans out. So right now, I mean, maybe it would be behoove the board kind of think about how else we can use this money when loans aren't attractive right now. Reimbursable loans are not attractive right now. Reimbursable loans that require job creations are certainly not attractive right now. So that's sort of something I'm trying to cook up and see if there's other creative outlets so we can still make an
Does that
impact
money
while
like
we're sitting.
expire? Do you have to give it back?
No, it doesn't expire, but I don't want a bank of money just sitting on something that's supposed to be put out in the streets. So I'm working on that. Hopefully I'll have some more news to you. I'm not going to call a meeting unless we have something to vote on, by the way. So, or if it's been a while, we need to introduce new members, if there's new ground rules or whatever. But if we have a meeting, there's something to vote on. So
Skip the appointments.
probably, yeah, I have nothing yet. That's it.
Did we look at the strategy of the board members?
Yeah, you guys are, for some reason, the way that this worked out is you were all up in March.
Was that?
For some reason, at the same time, everybody's expiration was up. But you have separate terms, but everybody's term was set to expire at the same time this round. I don't know why.
Maybe because when I came on too was different.
You were
time.
fulfilling,
Yeah,
well, you were fulfilling a vacated term,
Yeah,
so
which everyone that is coming new was finished
Finishing.
the prior person's term, so
Yeah.
the terms have never changed, just scatter it. We have 1 year, 2 year, and 3 years since 2019 when it started.
yeah, let me.
So everyone should just fall like. or
Straddle
thirty-
going forward though.
Huh?
Straddle going forward, so we don't have like 5 people that are up for it.
Oh, yeah, no, it's just like the list I think I gave you guys in the last meeting, everyone ends pretty much except for Daryl, he's January to December 31st of each year. But everyone that's 2 year and 3 year, it's always ends on March 31st of whichever year. So. I don't know if it's-
Mark was appointed in March of 22 for 3 years. Brad was appointed in March of 23 for 2 years. Alan was appointed in March of 23 for 2 years. Daryl, you are appointed for 1 year. Brian, you're appointed for 3 years, appointed in 22. Andrea, you had 1 year expiring on 20 in this year, so that was last year. Amanda, same thing. So For some reason, everybody was out on March 31st, 25. So she's putting together, I asked you guys if you guys want to remain. She's putting together the resolution, so everybody should be reinstated.
How do we go about changing? Should that be voted upon changing?
The terms,
Gathering it?
well, the board is. They are appointed by the legislature. And I believe that there's seats on the board that have their own terms. Some are 3, some are 2, some are 1. The board decides, the legislature decides who to put in those slots.
Yeah,
So I'll work with Tammy to figure that out, and based on what the legislature would prefer to do and how you want to select people. But at the end of the day, it does rest with the legislature, and everybody who's on the board now, I know that we went over and everybody's willing to serve again. So that's something that I can work with Tammy and you guys on separately if you like. Okay, and then my ex officio friends, you're here by virtue of your position, so welcome. Hang out.
Good.
Well, there's board member discussion.
Just came to see what was going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
I can give a little.
it was a
workforce-
riveting month. It's a better riveting month. Yeah.
Well, I can give a little workforce system update since we work so closely with economic development. And I went to the conference with James and Terry, the economic development conference, which was really interesting to see the other side of the work we do. Our program year for funding starts June 1st every year. We've just been given projected funding level for our next program year, which are not set in stone. But we are currently looking at an increase for the first time in 5 years. We've had our funding cut about 6% on average since 2019. Which for me is actually a really positive thing. It means that our performance is really good. They do a whole formula when they allocate our funding. It's based on performance, it's based on unemployment numbers, considering that the unemployment numbers are so low in our twin counties. The fact that we're getting increases are really kind of a surprise to me, but fantastic. So once that's finalized, obviously the workforce board will know, but we're looking at not having to cut any service or programs for the coming program year, as long as the federal budget goes through and we get the money that New York State has said that we should get. Even when there's changes, they tend to be kind of really tiny. They're not going to give us a 10% increase, and then when they give us the money, it's going to be 5%. So we're looking forward to that, and just collaborating, even closer with economic development, and hopefully I'd like to potentially start discussing a possible presentation that we put on that we might kind of enlist you and maybe our counterparts on the other side of the river to talk about kind of the economic and workforce system and the state of it right now, because there's a lot of changes and a lot of opportunities. So we'd like our community partners to really know what we do and learn about how we can help you do what you do. So that's it.
I did want to add also, sorry.
The only thing I wanted to add with workforce is that you may have recently heard that the college laid off 17 employees. Amanda's been very active on providing resources and any sort of outlet for any of them to go back into the job search. So if any of your firms or companies, or if you know of anybody that's hiring, Amanda's taking those.
Yeah, please send me current updated job listings. We have packets put together with our Department of Labor partners for kind of the whole process. People have to apply for unemployment, but we would rather just do warm handoffs to local organizations and businesses that are looking for people. We, because the career center is located where it is, these were our colleagues and we know their skill sets and they're across the board. So there are some amazingly talented and skilled folks that we want to be able to place in your businesses if you need people too. So reach out to me, give me updated job postings, and we'll do a warm handout.
We're having a multi-grant check presentation on the 11th up at Black Bear Lodge in Praxville. I hopefully everybody receives the invite. Would love to see you all there if you can make it. It is a little bit out of the way, but it'd be great to see everybody there.
What date is it, Terry? I'm sorry.
It's the 11th at 3 o'clock.
We can all pile in the Bronco.
Yeah, hopefully it won't snow. Because
Stop it.
if that's the case. Also, probably during this, but we're gonna send out. Just marking and mark calendars, I'm sure. You know, we'd love to see everybody come and say so long.
Is it a surprise?
No, well, no.
You can't surprise them.
No, I didn't think so. So we're recording.
If someone knows it before we're even planning it.
It's not a surprise anymore.
Oh, yeah, yes, you probably were on it, I'm good, I'll send them out, and then, again,
Any other questions or initiatives I should be able to look out for? Yeah, thank you. On the board.
I'm sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's 419. All right, I want to help you. Just talking today.
The other reason.
Thank you.
Oh.
Meeting.